JonesieCat79 here with another trailer reaction, this time for Star Wars The Last Jedi, as promised. Now, we've all been anticipating this trailer ever since we heard rumors of its announcement today. We've been speculating ever since that teaser came out in Star Wars Celebration way back in April. We are 2 months away from release, and they have been very secretive with this film, which is quite a compliment to just how tight things are over there at Lucasfilm, despite the apparent leaks that come out every now and then. Who knows if these are decisive weaponized leaks or actual leaks? We'll see in the final film, but so far everything has been pointing to this film being pretty well made without a hitch. We've heard about the disputes that have happened behind the scenes of LucasArts and some of their other films with Lucasfilm and its head producer, and we're not going to get into that here, but so far Rian Johnson and co. seem to have had a pretty good time making this film, and this film is also very special, for it'll have the last film appearance role of Carrie Fisher, who unfortunately passed away last December. So, a new poster has been debuted today as well, showing Princess Leia front and center along with all the other heroes, and Luke in a very prominent position. And one of the things about Force Awakens, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it yet, but while you're watching this if you haven't, Luke Skywalker only appears at the very end, and the whole movie's been about the search for Luke. And now that we're going to see what Luke's kind of been up to and everything, and he's going to pass on the Jedi teachings to Rey, who has a lot of Force potential inside her. So, also on a side note, I did record a reaction for Justice League that ended up getting ruined because the focus on my camera wasn't working right, and I wasn't going to re-record the whole reaction again. So, thoughts on that? I like the trailer, it's fun, I'm sold on Justice League. Some things are questionable here and there, but for the most part I'm excited for that too. But this, let's see what we have right here. So, let's go ahead and get going, shall we?
When I found you, I saw raw, untamed power. And beyond that, something truly special.
Something inside me has always been there. But now it's awake. And I need help.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now.
Let the past die. Kill it. If you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
We are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down. This is not going to go the way you think. Fulfill your destiny.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Well then, that is definitely more my speed, because there were actually things to react to. I mean, normally I do these things, I tend to be very focused and don't do much reacting unless something really jumps at me. Even with the early Force Awakens trailers, that was the same case. And in those, the visceral moments were like the X-Wing scenes and some touching lines said by characters. Now in this one, there was just some moments that were very visceral and jumped out to me. It's nice to see Luke actually talk, and it's interesting to see that this definitely feels like this trailer was very Kylo Ren centric. The first one was very Rey centric with the whole what does she see and how does she see the Force. And this one was a very Kylo Ren centered trailer. And this looks like we're finally going to see Kylo Ren become the villain that he was promised to be in Force Awakens. Many people had their issues with how he came out. I thought he was pretty well realized, but I can see that he was raw potential, like Snoke said in this trailer. And he seems to be really letting loose, and like people said, he's kind of like Anakin Skywalker 2.0, and I can definitely see some strains of that. And one of my interesting lines that I thought was interesting was Luke's, I saw this before once, it scared me, didn't scare me then, now it scares me. Like, that is something interesting to see, and it probably does add more credence to his it's time for the Jedi to end, because, can beings like that have such power or something like that? I don't know, but one part that got me excited was the fact that we see Finn taking on Captain Phasma. That is something that I heard people say a lot about in Force Awakens, was that Phasma didn't get a lot to do. And, people said she was hyped and then ended up being used for a one-off joke or something. And they were let down. Some people argued that the one standout scene with Finn was his fight against FN-2199, aka Traitor. And I remember my brother actually said that he thought maybe it should have been Phasma who should have been the one to have taken him on, because it was more personal. But it's nice to see Finn and Phasma go at it in this fight, and she actually will do something rather than just stand there and look cool. So they lived up to that promise. And like I said, we have some nice facial acting from Carrie Fisher, and there have always been questions to how she would be handled in the wake of her passing, and we still don't know. I mean, the trailer's setting us up for, some one thing, and it might end up the other. And then we got to see other animals. We got to see the wolves on Crate. I believe that's Crate. We got to see Snoke actually do something, and he seems to be very interested in Rey, so it's interesting to see where this goes. Like I said, people were worried that this might turn into an Empire Strikes Back clone, and while there's some things that might remind people of Empire, like the walkers and all that stuff and the training, this seems to be an entirely different beast. And I'm glad for that. People kept saying, let this be an original movie. And this looks like it is delivered on that promise. Who knows, it might be structurally the same, but, Star Wars has always been that kind of thing. And, well, they say tickets are on sale now. Get them while they're hot, because, this movie cannot come out soon enough. It's going to be a great way to cap off the year, it looks like. And I'm there. So that's all I got to say about this trailer. I'm glad, it was worth the wait, in my opinion. And I hope that, while they did warn that this could be pretty spoiler heavy, it's still quite impossible to glean anything from this movie other than a few elements that we're expecting. But other than that, I think this looks like a pretty good, pretty good trailer for a pretty good film. So that's all I got to say about that. That's Jonesy Cat 79 signing off, and Force is back. So let's see where this goes.